What's going on, y'all? Today's date is April 10th, where I'm at. And before we get started, I'm not an influencer. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a content creator. I'm not a compromised YouTuber, right? Uh, I use profanity, not curse words like blessed and black, right? So now that we got that over with, in my last video, I said I got questions. So here's some of the questions that I have. We see Israel over here. Let's see, right there, right, right over here. So my first question is: there's airstrikes, correct? I mean, I think I know what an airstrike is. I mean, that would involve jets hitting targets, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. So my question is this: uh, we have Syria, we have Jordan, we got Lebanon, we got Turkey up here, we got Iraq right here, we got Saudi Arabia right there. We got Egypt right here. My first question is, if Israel did airstrikes, who gave them authority to use that to cross over into those airspaces? Because that's why I pinpointed those countries. Who gave them authorization to cross into those to the airspace to hit targets in within Iran? That's my first question. I know we have, you know, shit all around here, so maybe that's how it happened. They just gave them clearance to, go through. Drones, maybe? I don't know. But that's my first question. I was curious about that. You know, I I think I might have answered it. We got friendlies in the area, but I thought people don't like these motherfuckers. We don't have that much control of. We can say who goes within somebody's airspace, right? At least that's my thinking. That's my thinking. Or is Israel that motherfucking dope that they're highly undetectable, going through people's radars and all this other shit? I don't know. That's my first question. When I used to work in Afghanistan, we used to fly out of Kabul, and as you can see, Afghanistan borders with Iran. And the flight pattern out of Kabul, you would do a spiral in and out, right? This is coming in and out. You would spiral, you do a spiral, uh, and then you would, from what I gathered looking out the window, um, the flight pattern was follow Highway 1. So Highway 1 is just one major road that circles the whole fucking country. But you would come down below into like Kandahar, right? And then boom, right around once you hit this corridor right here or around here, what would happen is the pilot may, from what I gathered, I believe, I remember, not believe, I remember they would announce we're headed into Iranian airspace, and they would bump up like 5 to 10,000 feet, because then they're in international airspace, which means they're not any type of aggressive jet or something like that. They're not there to, they're in international airspace, which means they're friendlies pretty much. Or it's commercial. They know it's commercial or international. So this happened every time leaving Kabul. When you're entering Afghanistan, same shit. You're they shoot up to reach that altitude to show that they're commercial, not military. So we would shoot up and we hit this coastline, around the strait, around this island, and I think that's the one they're talking about now. And we would Uh, we would then land in Dubai, right? Because we would descend. Either you're coming from the Gulf side, or you would come around the backside of Dubai and come in from the desert side. I've done that shit so many times. I mean, I know the pattern. So how did Israel pull that shit off? That's what I'd like to know. That's my question. I don't need to know it, but that's just my question. Or was it ballistic, right? So we could say ballistic. However, before I get into ballistic, people could say it was a drone. Drones can obviously go higher, you know, possibly because a human pilot would need special equipment to be up at a higher altitude where they're not detected. So even though the news are saying airstrikes, as in jets and all that, let's say maybe they use drones. Because my question, if it's regular airplanes, how did they get to and from Israel? You would need some type of approval. Am I making any sense? To me, I'm not making sense, but I don't know if I'm being clear of what I'm trying to ask. How the fuck did Israel, or that Israel, get airspace to go into Iran? Now, ballistic. Okay, yeah, ballistic. Yeah, it can reach from there to Iran, right? And hit its target. So keep in mind the distance here to here, and vice versa from here to here. Ballistic. So we're talking bombings. Are we talking unguided or guided? That's my next question. Unguided or guided? Unguided, you just shoot the shit off and it hits where it hits. Guided, the target is designated, if I'm correct. I know back in the past, designated, somebody's shooting the fucking laser and boom, you're on target. I don't know if it's changed where they just need satellite imagery, a grid coordinate, and they just dropping munitions on shit. But I remember that uh, back that if you drop something, it would be guided or unguided. So that's the question for me: guided or unguided? Guided, you would need somebody. Again, you would need somebody on ground, right? So that would be another question. With questions, let's look at scenarios. So we've been told our fighter pilots went down. No matter what you think about our military, your tax dollars are being wasted because I've seen that shit. Our military ain't shit. Granted, I've been out for a minute. You know, I was a part of the military. Um, I'm not gonna sit there and say our military ain't shit. However, you're talking fighter pilots, if it's true, because I question shit, right? They can show you anything, and I'm sorry for going off on a little uh, tangent. These people can show us anything. They can tell you any fucking thing. They can show you anything. Our pilots went down. Do you know that for sure? I question everything. You have to. At least for me. I do that. It's just natural for me. I'm not saying it's fake. I just question it. Because if our pilots went down, they really went down, and there was a bounty on said pilots, we just showed the world we could sneak into your motherfucking backyard and do what the fuck we want. Right? So you got to give us props. If it's real, you got to give us props. Because you got people that'll say, that's some bullshit. We didn't do that shit. We didn't do that. It's very possible that we did. So let's keep that in mind. However, let's take it into account that let's say it happened. It really happened. we went in there and we got our people back. Even if that's, we'd have to question that, even if that's true, right? We got our people back. What the fuck you gonna do about it? We went into Iran's backyard and got our people back. And you got motherfuckers heavily on Iran's nuts. And I ain't talking about Iranians or Iranian people in general. I have, there's nothing wrong with Iranian people. I've met Iranian people before. I met them in Dubai, I met them in other countries. Or, as far as talking to them, before all this shit, you know, good people, good people. They just like anybody else. They tired of the bullshit. So with that being said, let's look at, let's question some things, some other things and scenarios, you know. But once again, we went into their backyard and did what we did, right? Fuck you gonna do about it? So let's let's do some out of the box thinking. Let's ask some crazy ass questions. So what if the Iranians, what if the Iranians have a problem, right? Because everybody keeps saying this is about oil. It's about oil. I have to question that as well. Because it's nothing for different countries or people from different countries to sit down with other people from different countries and work out a deal to get oil. People have done this, right? It's not hard to do. Even before they go to war, they talk to each other. And after. So you mean to tell me these people can't sit down and talk about, hey, I need this much oil? How much can you make money off of this shit without, you know, shit looking funny? You mean to tell me these motherfuckers can't do that? They gotta kill people over resources and oil every fucking time. I don't think it's all about oil. It's too easy. It's too easy to tell people it's about oil. And I used to be that type of person. Yeah, it's about oil. Then after a while, I was like, wait a minute. Because I'm in the country where this motherfucker right here, that's saying it's about oil. And then once I'm there, I had to, nah, this is some other shit. So you mean to tell me these people can't sit down and talk about oil, make deals? Because another angle to this from a video I saw was Venezuela's oil uh, is like super thick or some shit. And Iran has the type of oil to thin it out, right? And they can just, if we get that type of oil from Iran, we could thin out Venezuelan shit and disperse it, right? That was one angle I've heard of. And to me, I'm not sure about that. Not saying that it's not possible. I just don't think that's the main thing, right? And then nuclear. Nuclear. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. Okay, let's look at the word nuclear. When people hear nuclear, they automatically think weaponry, right? Or energy. But nuclear has been used in other instances, like nuclear family, right? Remember, they wanted to destroy the nuclear family? Nuclear family meaning a tight knit group, tight knit family, very strong, very, you know, willing. What if nuclear and oil is meant for something else, right? Because he keeps saying they cannot have nuclear capabilities and all this other shit. And the more I keep hearing nuclear, I'm like, he's not talking about what people think he's talking about. I think that's connotation. It's it's what you think the word means. I think denotation is what it really means. Something like that. It might be vice versa. I just don't see, because if everybody had nuclear weapons, but the rumor is that people from other realms or whatever has made sure that we don't have nuclear weapons. And yet, Iran's supposed to have one. Are they the only ones that's looking for the shit? And no, we can't have that. They're the only ones that have it or would be willing to have it. But is it really about nuclear shit? Right? The next angle or question: what if, uh, okay, my next question to you guys: how many of you know that there's Jews in Iran? Did you know that? Did you know Iran has kosher nosters? There's kosher nosters in Iraq. There's kosher nosters all over this motherfucker. So check this out. Let's see if I can just bounce to it. No, I have to stop share. We're gonna stop sharing. You're gonna see my ugly face. I used to look good, y'all. I used to look pretty decent. And we're gonna go here. Because this is what we do. We search shit, right? Now, what are we looking at here? We're looking at a search. And I'm gonna read it to you. Iran has a long-standing Jewish community with around 9,000 to 15,000 Jews, primarily in Tehran, who can practice their religion freely but face civil rights limitations under Sharia law. They have cultural institutions and a reserved seat in the Iranian parliament, though they must navigate political sensitivities carefully. Did you know that? Did you motherfucker? I I knew about the Jews. I knew about, those people that call themselves Jews. I know they're there. Did you know that? How come they not bringing that shit up in the fucking news? Or have they? Or they're not really concentrating on the shit. But hey, they got kosher nosters. So the next question is, why is kosher nosters from Israel got problems with kosher nosters in Iran? And how are they, if Iranians are so, or Muslims or whatever are so fucking, they hate Jews and all this shit, but they practice their religion freely, those kosher nosters. And they have cultural institutions. Did you know that? Like, we didn't know there were Christians in Iraq before we went there. We didn't know about that. We saw a lady walking around in a skirt and her, tits hanging out and shit, walking down the street. We were like, oh shit, this is an ambush, because everybody was looking. you know? Then once we got to the laundry point, we saw other women with jeans and t-shirt, and we were like, what the fuck? That's the Christian population in Iraq. We didn't know this. We didn't know. And look, you got Iranian Jews. Did you know that? So why are these two motherfuckers fighting each other? Or are they? Or are they just trying to start shit? Maybe the Iranian people have a problem. Because we have a problem, right? Our problem in the States is we have people that's not from this motherfucker that are in our fucking politics, right? They're in our government. They're doing stupid shit. Fucking us up, as I always say. Fucking us up. Maybe they have the same fucking problem. Maybe they have the same fucking problem. They got people that's not from their country. They got people that they didn't vote for in position. Maybe Iranians need help. This is just my lens, you guys. Because, you're hearing, uh, we'll get to that point. But, we're seeing this shit in our country. Because before, you didn't care if so and so was from another country. You got people that look like me. Motherfuckers is looking at them like they're American. I'm an American, true American. And these motherfuckers are from another country. Just like you think kosher nosters are one complexion. No, they come in many complexions. They come in many complexions. It's not just one complexion. There's these motherfuckers are all over the place, right? So back to us, you got people in position. You're finding out this motherfucker's from Jamaica, this motherfucker's from Haiti, this motherfucker's from India, this motherfucker's from Uganda. How the fuck a Ugandan? What's that motherfucker's name? Donnie? How the fuck you let a fucking Ugandan Indian dude? So are you Indian or Ugandan? No, he's a American. Bull fucking shit. And they in our fucking government, if you want to call it that, in position to fuck everybody up. What if Iran has the same motherfucking problem and they need help, right? Because you know that, let's get to this, that a girl's school was hit. And I know I talked shit in the other video. You didn't show me. Show me that this motherfucker was hit. I've said that. And before making this video, I did some digging and I saw a strike on the building. I saw people screaming. I saw somebody over a body. But to me, it's still not what I'm looking for. As fucked up as it sounds, I'm hoping that that never happened. I wouldn't want that to happen. But to put it out there, and then our own fucking people blaming our military right off the rip without no fucking evidence, you know, that's fucking crazy to me. Very possible it happens. It's happened before. But you always got to question shit because these people are watching and listening to who's putting shit out there. And you got people who flat out said, we did it with no type of checking anything. And we know how slick, you know, these motherfuckers are, right? I just told you they got Costa Nostras over here too. So take that for what you will. And it's just funny how they tell us that uh, about the girls' school. So here's something I want to show you guys because you got all these usual uh, out media people or whatever that will of course say that we did it. There was an interesting article on ABC. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. See all these usual USA and India Times and Al Jazeera, the National, they're going to say we did it. The Guardian, right? They're going to say, uh, yeah, see, U.S. strike likely hit. Likely. Iran blames Israel, U.S. for the strike. You know CNN is going to be all over it. Where the hell did ABC News go? Because it says something very interesting. I thought that was kind of weird how they worded shit on. See, okay, so right here, Iran announces plans to develop bombed girls' school. Develop what? Damn, where the fuck you at? And then Yahoo had some weird shit too. See, this is what I do, y'all. You just not gonna tell me some shit popped off, and then I'm gonna just, you just gonna throw it out there like whatever. Like this missile and deadly Iranian school strike appears to be U.S. made. Appears? Either you know or you don't know. Either you know or you don't fucking know. Why are you putting shit out there like that's what it is? U.S. target list may have mistaken Iranian elementary school. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I can't find this motherfucker. U.S. made Tomahawk missile appears. Appears. Yahoo Net is tracking me. He does some shit. I just mentioned Yahoo. See how that shit worked? See that? Because Yahoo had some crazy ass shit on it. Now I can't find it. Ain't that some shit? Check that out, y'all. Don't show me this shit again. Fuck Yahoo. I know I didn't go all the way down here. And now I can't find Yahoo. Ain't that some shit? Or the ABC article. Because the way they reported it, it just didn't sound right. And also, it's been reportedly put out as a rumor uh, that the Iranians did the shit. Did you guys hear about that? No, you're not putting it out there like that. You think the military did it? Fuck it. Let's check MSN. Let's try it. Let's see what they got. Let's see if we can break this down. The elementary school called with an urgent message about her son. The war started. This is the aftermath of the bombing. You know, by the time we arrived, school collapsed on the children. The school collapsed on the children. People were pulling children out by arms and legs, severed heads. And they held a mass funeral, according to this. Ain't this some shit? I can't find it. Let me make sure it was in CBS. So they'll show you that this girls' school got hit. First of all, or next, we're gonna dig into Manab because I got a thing on that. I'm gonna try to hurry this shit up, right? And I hate to sound fucking like an asshole, y'all, but again, I got questions. Manab is strategically located at Strait of close to the Strait of Hormuz. This is before and after. School building destroyed, and the school is at uh, Iranian Guard military site, right? Did they tell y'all that? So, Jensen Jones, director of the Armament Research Services, told CBS News that the weapon is a U.S. Tomahawk missile. Given the use of this munition indicates it is a U.S. strike. But didn't Donald Trump say tomahawks are very generalized? Anybody can get a fucking tomahawk. And then this cat says, as Israel is not known to possess tomahawk missiles, but they possess all kinds of other shit that we have, but they don't have tomahawk missiles. He added that neither Iran, Israel, nor the Gulf states have tomahawks in their arsenals. How the fuck does he know? How the fuck does he know? Targeting patients and children blatantly violates humanitarian principles. The world must condemn it. I stand with my grieving nation. Iran will not remain silent to yield to these crimes. Remember that, you guys. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. So this is Manab, Iran. Oh, wait a minute. I was on the wrong one. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here we motherfucking go. Where you at, ABC? Here we go. Now, ABC's News geolocated the video adjacent to the site. Geolocated the video adjacent to the site of the deadly blast, in which several buildings connected to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps were destroyed, along with a nearby building housing a school for girls. The missile seen impacting the video is not hitting the girls' school, but another building. So they're showing you what they're saying is a Tomahawk missile. It says the missile seen impacting in the video is not hitting the girls' school, but another building in the IRGC complex. Right? Experts told ABC News the missile has the characteristics of a Tomahawk. Experts told ABC News the missile has the characteristics of a Tomahawk, which is used by the United States and is not known to be fielded by Iran or Israel. Sam Laird, a research associate at the James Martin Center for Nonproliferation Studies, told ABC News that the size and shape of the missile resembled the Tomahawk. I do believe this pinpoints towards U.S. responsibility for the strike in the area. I do believe this points towards U.S. responsibility for the strike in the area. That indicates it is a U.S. strike. Jensen Jones, we just seen him on the other fucking CBS earlier cautioned that attributing responsibility for the strike on a nearby school would be difficult without access to munition fragments. But this motherfucker I just read him on CBS. He's saying that without a doubt, the U.S. did it. On here, cautioned that attributing responsibility for the strike on the nearby school would be difficult without access to munition fragments. He said the new video was still not proof as to who was responsible for striking the school. But I just read that he said it was us. So which one is it, you guys? See, this is the shit I'm talking about. And you remember what that one motherfucker said. This is an atrocity, a humanitarian, blah blah blah. So what about this shit right here? What about this? Have you guys heard about the poisoning of 900 girls? Targeted chemical attacks on Iranian schoolgirls. See that shit right there? Have you seen that? Did they tell you about that? Hundreds of girls in Iran poisoned with noxious fumes in classroom. Look at this. Look at this shit. Iran unleashes its wrath on its children. Did you see that? Did they tell you about that? Why didn't they tell you about that? How come you didn't you So remember I asked the question, guided or unguided? Why did it just say a dumb bombs? Unguided dumb bombs. We all know that means deep underground military base. Dumbs, right? Suspected poisonings at Iranian girls' schools. How come y'all not talking about that shit? But you want to blame that the US military did this shit. And you're putting it out there like you know what the fuck you're talking about. Panic spreads in Iran after new suspected poison attack. Poison attacks hit at least 26 girls schools. Not 26 girls, 26 girls school. What's up with that, y'all? So maybe Iran has a motherfucking problem, right? So let's get back to this map. Let's get to this map. So there's Manab. That's where the girls' school is located. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. It's right close to water. Well, what the fuck does that mean, Tar? Well, let's get into it. So I don't know if y'all remember back in what 2020, 20, because my stepdad was alive. You guys remember? So remember the Suez Canal and the container? Or is it over here? The container ship getting stuck. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Remember that container ship? Somebody tracked the uh, the pattern of the ship before it got stuck, and this is what the pattern looked like. Remember that? Remember this? See that? Let's see. Oh, you're not seeing it. Hold on. We're gonna get to it. Where you at? So we're gonna stop sharing. We're gonna share screen. Here we go. So now you should be able to see it. You should be able to see what I'm seeing. See that? Do you fucking see that? This is the pattern that was seen the ship doing before it got stuck. So, as you can see, let's see if I can see my arrow on this because it's not lined up. Maybe it is. So you see a butt cheek, right? You see that line coming down, another butt cheek, that would be your left butt cheek. You see a right butt cheek, and you see a penis. You see the balls, see the shaft, and it's about to go into the butt cheek, doggy style. Somebody's getting fucked. This is the ship before it got stuck in the Suez Canal. Well, what the fuck does that got to do with fucking Iran, Tar? Well, we ask questions in this motherfucker. And we kind of see, like, there's something else going on. So remember, that school is right by the Strait of Hormuz. And you're asking, what the fuck, Tar? What does that mean? What are you getting at? Well, that container ship that got stuck in Suez Canal was the Ever Green or Ever Given. And it's been said that they've been doing, there's human trafficking on container ships. You can look at my other videos. You see people, I've got a compilation of people saying they're hearing people scream from these fucking container ships. One guy was saying, if I want to move people and children around, the number one thing would be these fucking ships, right? So now we have an issue at the Strait of Hormuz. It's shut down, or it was shut down. So what if? What if, you guys? This, I'm just what if in this shit. I'm asking fucking questions. So, because people don't ask fucking questions, because I kind of noticed some certain shit. So that school was right by the fucking strait. What if they were trafficking these girls or any other children from that area and taking them through the strait? And Iran says, Iranians are like, hey, we got a problem. We got a fucking problem. So they have to close the strait so people can go on these ships. People talk about dumbs. Again, dumbs. You just saw unguided dumb bomb. What if there's dumbs or tunnel systems that they're attacking and they're calling it nuclear? I'm just asking a motherfucking question. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm asking a motherfucking question because nobody else is asking this motherfucking question. Why aren't you asking this motherfucking question? Because it's about oil. It's about, you know, and somehow it's about the Anunnaki and Sumerian texts and all this other shit. But yet you're not talking about you're not talking about uh this shit right here. You're not talking about, well, fuck it. I'm gonna type this shit in. I'm gonna do the work for you. Watch this. Let's see if we got images on it. Yeah, yeah, we got some images on it. Cause y'all don't ask fucking questions. I'm a man of many, a master of none. So why aren't y'all asking about? Damn, that's not the right one. Why are y'all not asking about this shit right here? The 33rd parallel. You want to talk about Sumerian text and Anunnakis and all this shit? You ain't even talking about the 33rd parallel. Well, Tar, what's the fuck 33rd parallel? Well, as I'm doing the work for you, you can do the rest by your goddamn self. 33rd parallel is north. 33rd parallel north is a circle of latitude that is approximately 33 degrees north of the Earth's equator. Don't you Masonic niggas like 33rd degree niggas and all, that's like the highest shit y'all can go to, which we pretty much know it's not, pretty people on your ass about that. The mystery of parallel 33. Everything is connected to, let's see what it says. This is for you doom and gloom motherfuckers. The mystery of parallel 33. I'm giving you some new material. We all know that the number 33 is not just any regular number. The mystery of parallel 33 is one interesting topic to be discussed. The circles of latitude, commonly referred as parallels, because they are parallel to each other. That is, any two parallels are everywhere on the same distance apart. This is for you non-military motherfuckers, right? Most military people know this shit. And, pilots and all that. The Earth's parallels 33 north and 33 south reveal fascinating details. Curiously, John Kennedy was assassinated on the 33rd parallel, right? U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt also passed away near the 33rd parallel. Cesare Filippi in the proximity of the 33rd parallel. Jesus Christ predicted his own death. In addition to that, Jesus was 33, so they say. The amen is the numerical equivalent of 33. No, see, now you can talk about your little fucking book of Enoch, the place where the Watcher class of fallen angels descended to earth. Mount Hermon is also located on the 33rd parallel. The Phoenix lights witnessed by thousands of people in the skies above the city. UFOs and shit. The city of Phoenix is situated on the 33rd parallel. In 1942, parallel 33 north, the so-called Battle of LA took place on the 33rd parallel. There's more. New Mexico, which is on parallel 33, first ever nuclear explosion. Casablanca, Morocco, quote unquote Morocco. North Africa, quote unquote. A huge square hexagonal pyramid construction is located on the 33rd parallel. Apparently, it was the 33rd United States president who targeted two Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, with nuclear bombs. Both cities straddle the 33rd parallel, the Persian Gulf. Anyway, basically, what I'm saying is, or what it's saying, uh, Baghdad is on the 33rd parallel. Cities of Iran are on the 33rd parallel. Pyongyang is on the 33rd parallel. These are cities that we've been at war at. For all you doom and gloom motherfuckers. Now you got some ammunition. You got some substance, right? The Anunnaki's coming. It's the Book of Enoch. All that other shit. And you don't even fucking know the basics. You know that other advanced shit, but you don't even know the basics. That's why I can't listen to some of you motherfuckers. So, what if, again, this is the Strait of Hormuz? What if they're doing operations to stop these ships from further doing any trafficking, you guys? That's just my lens, my question. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just asking a motherfucking question. We need to start asking motherfucking questions. Because if there is a war, and it's been a war, we just don't know who's who and what's what. It's starting to be clear to most people, or some people, we got an idea of who's who and what's what, right? The good thing is, like, now you're starting to, especially for people in the States, they're starting to see or learn about their politicians. People didn't know about Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham and Jim Jordan. They didn't. You guys didn't know about these motherfuckers. You do. You know about these motherfuckers now. Byron Donaldson, AOC and Ilhan Omar. Nobody knew these motherfuckers before until old Don P got up in there. Who's Don P tar? Well, get on that Q shit and go find out who Don P is. You know, of course he's Donald Trump. I call him Don P. I believe. I have to say I believe because I'm not going to put it out there like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, I call him Don P. Yeah, for good reason for me. Yeah, you guys didn't know. You guys don't even know you're in fucking. A lot of people don't even know they're in war. They just hate this motherfucker, Don P. Donald J. Trump. They just hate him. Fuck it. He's a piece of shit. I'll tell you this though, and I said it in my last video. He hasn't sent anybody over there without body armor or vehicle armor, like that dumbass George Bush did. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. You're a fucking dumbass. He was a dumbass. I can't stand that motherfucker. I can't stand him, Rumsfeld, and that other motherfucker, Dick Cheney, and that other bitch, what's his name? Kissinger. Them motherfuckers, I can't stand them bitches. Mm-mm. After what you did to us, I'm talking soldiers and shit. Stop law, stop movement, right? We had people. For you people don't know what stop law, stop movement is. That's when you're in a situation where you're in the needs of the military, basically. You can't retire. You can't change your duty station. We had people who were set to retire, change duty station, or yeah, right? They went home. They announced stop loss, stop movement. These people came back. I remember, I think it was 14. 14 people came back from stop loss, stop movement, and they got hit. They got hit on the way back to their camp. One guy, I remember seeing an article. He went, saw his son, held his newborn baby, stop loss, stop movement, came back, blown up. Donald Trump is nowhere near that shit at this point. So I know it's just hate for this motherfucker. And you act like he's the only one that started some shit. And yet you don't even know if that shit is fucking real. Honestly, you don't know what the fuck is going on. These people can show you any fucking thing. They can show you anything. And I'm surprised you people haven't caught on to that shit. But you can bring up all other kinds of shit. And I'm saying, like, if you can come up with that, what makes you think this shit is real? You keep saying it's a fucking movie, right? You're seeing celebrities and shit that doesn't look the same, but yet you're saying nothing's happening. Something's happening. You just haven't seen the tribunals and fucking courts and all that shit. Why do you need to see it? Why do you need to see it now? Just like you didn't want to see the fucking list, you didn't believe it until somebody said, well, Donald Trump's name's in that motherfucker. Now all of a sudden you want to see the shit. Now it's real. Now you know fucking politicians are cannibals and pedophiles, human traffickers, and all this other shit because of that shit. Now you want to call for it because of this one motherfucker. And you don't even know the basics. Man of many, master of none. I'm always trying to I'm always trying to learn some shit. Do I want to master it? Not really. Because I'm gonna find some other shit to go look at. A man of many, a master of none. That's like perfection, right? People are like, I want to be perfect. A perfect person is a dead person. Women want a perfect man. A perfect man is a dead man. He can't say no wrong. He can't do no wrong. He ain't doing shit. That motherfucker's dead. Man of many, a master of none. I've had too much experience to be like that. And I'm trying to give you guys, especially people who don't think out of the realm, maybe you need to start checking shit. There's a lot of people who think like me. There's a lot of people that they know a lot of shit. There's some people I'm not even nowhere close to their fucking level, and I think I'm pretty decent. But yo, y'all, just trying to bring some different angles to this shit. Whether you agree with it or not, check it out, because you never know. Maybe there are stargates and portals. You motherfuckers talk about CERN, and all this other shit, right? Maybe what if nuclear means stargates and portals? These motherfuckers are going nuclear. Did you think about that? Oh no, Tar, because that's some conspiracy theory Q shit. Okay. Okay. See, that type of motherfucker took the COVID shot. There's no dealing with them. Leave them alone. Just let them be. Right? And you know what? Speaking of which, I showed you guys there's no chemtrails, right? I've been here. I haven't seen rain since I've been here. There's not a fucking chemtrail. I guarantee you the moment I see a chemtrail, it's probably going to be rain. I haven't seen one. If, people don't even believe in that shit. That's crazy. And the sky is so blue, you know? I like this shit. I was going to go with something else, but the chemtrail shit popped up. So, yeah, y'all. Just trying to give you a different angle on this motherfucker. That being said, be careful who you listen to. Try to get to the basics of shit. Get to the base of things. Know the basics. You know? Ask questions. Think outside the box. No matter how disturbing that shit is, think outside the box. You're not crazy. You're not fucking crazy, y'all. Because if you try to fight it, you will go crazy. Let it out. Ask motherfucking questions. Don't take everything for what it is. Because if this is a war, there's going to be shit on both sides. They're going to put shit out on both sides. And they have to do that because they're at war with each other. Then you got, oh, they're on the same team. Okay, you could think that. It's too much bullshit for people on the same fucking team to be going at each other like this. Something's going on. You know what I'm saying? And be careful who you hate. Be careful. Be careful who you hate. Take it easy, y'all.